I was.
Now it's time to go on.
It's time to go on, Reno said, with the harp effect. Yes, hello everybody. On Friday afternoon, here we are, Reno and Marcia with the harp effect, and a really special guest for us tonight and for you as well. I've already been interrogating the poor man because he has so much to offer and so much to say. And so how are we doing, Reno?
We're good.
So we're going to introduce right off the bat. I'm going to just tell you that this is Josh Heinz. Do I say that right?
Yes, you did. Just like the ketchup. Unfortunately, not
the same money.
Not the same money, because I probably wouldn't be here. But yeah.
Well, see, it's an ill wind that blows no good. Here you are with us.
I'm happy to be here.
And I'm so glad. And the thing is that actually, I met Josh. I had the pleasure. Reno said it like 5 years ago.
We actually met you, but it was so brief because you were doing one of the concerts at
Schmitty's. Yeah, you told me. Schmitty's, loved Schmitty's. Dennis and Kathy, the owners of Schmitty's, they were good friends of ours. I missed them. But yes, we did the concert there, the 7th and 8th one. So that was, wow, the 7th one was almost 10 years ago.
Wow.
Because this year's going to be number 17.
17, and what we're talking about is the concerts that Josh is a fabulous musician. You're a guitarist, right, by trade?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
You should introduce what he does. I mean, the
I know.
Concert for...
But he's a musician at trade. But what has made him even more special and beyond his music is that he has created, and he just said this is the 17th year of concert for autism.
That's right.
And as if you were like me, I was kind of like, why did you choose autism? Why is the concert for autism, even though it sounds fabulous? Well, Josh has a son and a stepson, which is so unusual.
And actually, we have a third son. So my wife and I, we were both separately married, and our two boys, Harrison, my son, and then her son, Christopher, who are both on the side of the spectrum that's very challenging. They have a tough time communicating, and they grew up together. They were in the same school, and that's how my wife and I met, because our boys were kind of friends. And the teacher, we were both divorced at that time, and the teacher was like, "Oh, Josh, you should meet Linda. She's the music teacher here, and her boy Christopher plays with your son Harrison, and you're a musician." And that's how we met, and things fell into place, and fortunately it worked out.
Matchmaker.
And so that's how we got together. And then when we had our son together, Jack. And Jack is on the autism spectrum, but he's what they say high functioning. He'll be able to have a family, have a job, all those things. But anyway, so actually it's three boys.
That's unbelievable. And it's like how could that just sort of like don't you think it sort of was meant to be somehow, that this wonderful package sort of got wrapped up all together with his lovely wife and now 3 boys, and he has taken, I watched your videos and one only impressed me more than the next, and it's not so much, Josh, that I'm impressed. It's that you are one incredible individual who has taken what you do, what God has given you, and the ability to put it out in the world and make this autism, it is like you do, when you say you do fundraising for autism, is there like a special place that money actually goes?
Yes. So we started the Concert for Autism, again, 17 years ago. And it was really just a group of us crazy musicians out here playing at the Red Barn. And that was our hole in the wall where we played. And I had seen a few other benefits, like a cancer benefit, and it was simple, like, oh, just tonight we're going to take all the money we make and give it to somebody to help them out. And I was like, well, autism is important to me, and I have a son on the spectrum, and man, why don't we just do that? Let's just, for one night here at the Crazy Old Red Barn, we'll just take door money, and we'll get paid what we get paid from the bar, and then we'll pass around a bucket. And we gave the money to the Autism Society of America, the Coachella Valley chapter. And that happened for a few years. And then on the third one, we decided to split up. We had met Randy Cordy, who used to own the Lumpies golf stores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lumpies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so-
For the public, that's a golf course here in the
A
desert.
golf store.
Store.
It was. And Randy has a son on the spectrum.
Wow.
And Randy's son, Linda, was teaching him piano. And so Randy had started a foundation. He called it the Lumpies Foundation. And then when he sold the stores, he just changed it to Desert Autism Foundation. And he's who we give all the money to now. What he does with the money is he takes and tries to supplement the cost of vital therapies that
Are we going off?
No, we're good.
We
that
had a little Wi-Fi problem.
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah. Okay.
he tries to help families pay for vital therapies that children need, early intervention therapies, speech therapies, music therapy, occupational therapy, things of that. So instead of them having to pay like $100 for a speech lesson, they only have to pay $20. So that's what we do with that money. And Linda and I are now on the board of the Desert Autism Foundation, and we're talking about trying to expand what we do when we raise that money to also include, of course, now that we've got adult sons, we want to start to do some sort of programs where we help out adults on the spectrum.
Sure.
And things of that nature. So we're hoping to grow it, but that's our fundraising right now.
I think that's amazing. And if anyone is watching who has dealt with autism or is dealing with autism or feels that this would be a good cause to support, please connect with. How can Reno? Did you put up his? Yes.
I put up links.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
Reno's put up in the ad all the information you need to contact Josh so that you can give to the Autism Society.
And you can be on a mailer to know up and coming benefits.
Yes,
Concerts that you guys
for
got
sure.
coming up.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and you'll see in the link, concertforautism.com. You can go there. You can see all the information. You can see a donate now button. You can also go to desertautismfoundation.org. They have a donate now button, but it all goes to the same place.
So in the beginning, did it seem like a lot of people were lost? As like, they had a autistic child, and like they didn't know who to talk to, where to go, and that's probably like almost like a secret. I don't want people to know. Did you notice that happening in some families?
For sure. I mean, in my own situation, when my son was diagnosed, when Harrison was diagnosed, he was tested between 2.5 and 3. That's when he got tested for autism. And my wife and I, my current wife at that time, she and I had no clue. We didn't know what services were available. In the county of Riverside, when you have a child tested, normally you get him tested through Inland Regional Center, which is in San Bernardino.
Okay.
And when that happens, they take them through the testing, and then once they give the diagnosis, they assign a caseworker to you, and then the caseworker gives you a bunch of paperwork. And unfortunately, the problem is that the rates of autism have continued to increase every year. Like when my son was diagnosed, I think it was like 1 in 160.
Wow.
I think something like that, but I can tell you, like, today the CDC number is 1 in 36.
Yeah.
Just last year that number was 1 in 44. So you can see how it increases.
So that 1 in 36 children will have autism.
Right now, that's the statistic.
Well, thanks to the research we've done just to learn more about you, which has been fascinating and absolutely remarkable. And Reno has done so much. And you said the other night that 1 in 36 children have autism, and that the United States...
We're number 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you believe that? In the world, we are number 1
Yeah.
in autism.
Not a good thing to be number 1 in, but...
And the tough thing about that, when we talk about such a staggering statistic, is that, as I was saying, like 20 years ago when my son was diagnosed, the Inland Regional staff was already overwhelmed. And so now imagine. So that's probably the biggest thing that we as parents, especially as Linda and I now have older boys, services for adults on the spectrum, and especially those that are on the more challenging side, that have more challenges, tougher to communicate or to understand, or can have unfortunate behaviors. There's a lot of services needed, and there's not a lot of people out there doing those services. So we need more individuals that are willing to help, that are willing to do those things for the autism
That's why
community.
we have Josh today, because I want the world to know that this man has been crusading now for 17 years.
17 years with the benefit, yeah.
So when you say they're more challenging, they're tougher, what would be a couple of examples as they get older?
Sure.
What makes them tough?
Yeah, I'll give you an example of my son directly, Harrison. Harrison can't communicate very well. He really just mimics what I say. And so that communication, not having that is definitely a huge barrier. He wouldn't be able to hold down a job. He has to have full-time care. So he's in an assisted living home in Arizona where his mother lives, and he lives with two other adults on the spectrum, one of which is blind, and they do very well with him, and I'll go over and see him. But he will always need assistance. He can't cook his own food. He can't. He needs prompts to do certain things, like take shower or things like that. So he'll always need an assisted living situation.
How long have he been in that? When did you know that it was time to put him where he would be best served?
As he became an adult, he was with his mother. He used to live here, and we split time with him, and then she had moved. And as he became an adult, because the one thing that can happen is there's with autism sometimes, because of the lack of communication, the individual can't express what they need or how they feel, and they can have a behavior. Sometimes people classify it as a meltdown or a bad behavior, and that could include hurting themselves or hurting others or damaging something.
Almost a form of depression in a person that doesn't have autism, right?
Well, maybe. But definitely, unfortunately, they can't communicate.
Yeah.
And so they might have anxiety issues, and then behavior happens. And so as he got bigger, and that's what happens, is as they get bigger to become, they become adults. And a mother, a smaller person, they can't handle the situation in those times. And you need assistance, and you need someone that can handle those
and knows what to do,
and knows what to do, and can better serve them. And ultimately, also as a parent, you want, even though your child has those challenges, you want them to gain some sort of independence.
Sure.
And so even at where Harrison's at in Arizona, they have day programs, and so they're still teaching him skills. His skill level may be, he's 24 now, his skill level may only be that of what people would look at as, say, a 5-year-old. But they're still teaching him through a day program new skills. And so hopefully that will lead to a time when he can have a skill. And that happens a lot, like you know about Desert Arc here in the valley. They work with individuals with all sorts of special needs, but one is certainly autism. And so they work through programs where some people on the autism spectrum can do jobs, and that helps them, and it builds them a sense of independence and confidence. And even though they have those challenges, you want them to have that. So it's kind of a combination of the two, of that they're going to need services, and the family needs help because they need a break because it's been a tough road. But also, you put them in the hands of some individuals that care about them and are trying to further them as adults.
Yes. Oh, how incredible.
Well, that way it also makes your time with your boys a little more rewarding, a little easier, a little more gratifying, I'm sure.
Yeah, because again, when you have the individuals on that challenging, severe side, it's a lot of work. It's a lot on the families, and that's something that Linda and I because we've lived it. It's something that we know is an issue that needs assistance. There are other families that have individuals on that side of the spectrum, and again, they don't have the services, they don't have the support, and they need it for their peace of mind and for their families.
Well, that, you know, I was watched all the videos that you sent me, and what I thought was really cool is like, it's a minimum charge to go to these concerts, and they don't turn anybody away. And I thought that was such a great concept, because usually you see cars moving, you see some lights, you go like, what's that? And basically, hey, come on in and enjoy the show.
Yeah, we never force anybody. You know, we call it a suggested donation at the door, and we don't want to force anybody, because the great thing is usually when we put on the concerts, people come to the door and they go, well, how much is it? And it's $10 donation, and a lot of times people just throw a 20. And they say, thanks. Keep the change. So yeah, we never want to turn anybody away. And we don't want anybody, you know, the great thing about what we do, we started the concert as it was just a one-night thing. And then as it got bigger, we were doing 2 nights because more bands wanted to play. And then as it got bigger, in 2019, I did 3 different places. I did a show at the Coachella Valley Brewery for an acoustic show. And then we did a show at the Hood, which was like more heavy. And then we did the show at the Tack Room, the main event. And that's a combination of both the regular stage and acoustic stage, and has a great variety of music from rock to punk to funk to acoustic ballads and stuff. So anyway, after the pandemic, the pandemic, we did something like this. We did it online. And then in 21, we did just one singular show because we were coming off the pandemic. Anyway, in 22 and 23, we went to the format of what we do now, which is a 4-week show. So we do the first week at Big Rock Pub, then we do the acoustic at CV Brewery, then we do the heavy show at the Hood, and then we do the main event at the Tack Room. And
Wow.
and we do that because that's over 30. I think last year we had 36 bands and artists play in those 4.
So is it coming up now?
No, it'll be in the fall. I got don't press
rush
me.
me.
I saw it advertised next week.
Oh no.
But you know, you always think, oh, it won't be till fall.
Oh, it
And then
creeps
you go,
up on you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, but how? Well, so how can the world make sure that, or we can make sure that the world knows?
We're
about
plugged in with Josh now.
Yeah,
you can't escape us. I'm sorry.
And you won't be able to escape me because I try to promote it any means necessary. I will probably call you in August and say, like, can I come back on the show?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, and we'll try to
You know
promote
what?
it again.
Nothing would make us happier, Josh.
I would
because
be grateful.
we tried to get it out, and Reno put a fabulous ad out a little while ago.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
This morning.
Yeah.
About the show. Did you see it?
Oh yeah, I shared it.
Oh.
I shared it on all my socials. So.
Oh, okay. So then tomorrow or the next day,
Did we do a little follow-up?
do a follow up.
Yeah, that'd be great because this is recorded as well, so I could.
Yeah.
Share that.
Yeah,
I'll share it,
yeah. And the thing is that I just get so excited because he has taken his talent and expanded it into a world that how many of us even ever thought about?
We always think it's them, somebody else.
Yes, it's always somebody
right?
else.
Until it happens to you. But
Yeah.
it's more prevalent than ever before,
Yeah, it is.
unfortunately.
And they know that if they can't remember all of this, that where to get in contact, that they can contact me at 415-383-5770, and we can connect you. And
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, in whatever means, always remember concertforautism.com. You can go there, and that will. My email address is on there. You can email me.
say it again.
Concertforautism.com.
Concertforautism.com.
Yep, and you can email me at contact@concertforautism.com. So
Email him at
contact
contact
at
at
concertforautism.com.
concertforautism.com. And so now no excuses, okay? So don't call me and go, I think I'd like to get involved with that, but I don't remember. You better just think about it and think of a wonderful way that we can all, and at least know that we'll look forward to the concert in the fall This one's at the Tact Room, right?
Yeah, the main event again will be at the Tac Room. Yeah,
Which is great because it's only down the
it's
street
on the street.
from us.
I'm going there after I leave here.
Are you
And-
playing tonight?
No,
or-
I'm going to talk to somebody at the Tac Room about the planning stages of this year's
Oh,
event. So
wow, okay.
I was going to get to answer your question about the $10 and get in free. I wanted to say one thing to everybody watching. When we get to the Tac Room, if you haven't been there, it's a wonderful place. A super large patio. It's big enough for us to have 2 stages, and then we have a whole wall of tables with silent auctions and raffles, which is we're so lucky.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we're so
That's right,
lucky.
they do raffles.
But the great thing about it is we also have a small tent away from the music we call it a sensory tent. So individuals on the spectrum, sometimes too much sensory objects too much noise, too much lights, too many people their sensories are really, some of the individuals on the spectrum, those things can really have an impact on them. And so they need a break. They need a break from the sensory issue. So the reason I say all that is that we encourage families that have individuals on the spectrum that can attend events like that. We want them to come out, and we have activities for kids and activities for those on the spectrum.
Oh, wow.
And we have, like I said, the sensory tent. So if someone needs a break from the noise and a break from all the people, they can go in the sensory tent, and it's quiet, and it's dimly lit, and it's got a couch, and it's got a few little fidget toys and things of that nature that help them kind of calm themselves. So anyway, we make it open to everybody.
Well, because you're very conscious of what that world needs, and the parents and the kids, and you make it as enjoyable as possible. And because music really resonates in everybody's mind. Doesn't matter autism or if there's retardation or depression. I mean, music has this energy that's undescribable sometimes.
Yeah, it does.
Are you performing anywhere between now and your fall concert?
Oh yeah, I mean I play, so my band Blasting Echo.
Blasting Echo.
We're kind of on a little hiatus right now. When the season kicks in, like it's in right now,
Right.
All of our lives just get so crazy, and so we all kind of agreed like, hey, let's take a few months off. So we'll probably play a couple of times before we never like to play the event like, oh, let's just go in and play cold. Like, no, but I will play. I also have another band, my first band out here called Dufresne, which was a riff off of the movie The Shawshank Redemption, Andy Dufresne. And we reunited for the first time in 17 years last year at the benefit. And we will probably play again. One of our members lives up in Oregon, but he said, hey, I'll come down a couple times a year and play. So we might play once or twice, but I play acoustic all the time. Like I played last Friday at Coachella Valley Brewery.
Ooh.
I'm playing today's Friday.
Friday.
So next Thursday I'm playing at Plan B out in Thousand Palms. That's where Ramon and Monterey meet.
Oh yeah.
And they have Thursday night acoustics, and I'll play over there. So I play acoustic usually once or twice a month. I have to play. It's kind of like my.
I know. Listen, I know.
Yeah, you know. When you're artistic, you kind of get. It's kind of like that good drug. You need it. It gives you. It helps your soul. It helps your mind, and at least it does for me. So.
Well, and then it resonates to your audience.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same with Marcia when she sings. It's.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I love watching the audience. I mean, I hear her, but I love watching the audience and watching them go on this ride. And I've seen that in other artists where they're just kind of moving and they start moving a little bit more, and then now they're like zoned in on the artist.
Yeah.
I do my best. You know that.
Oh yeah.
And we were talking about doing our best the other day, and I guess it was Lisa, my friend, who you said you knew, Jason Hall, who tonight, by the way, if any of you are in the Coachella Valley or close by, Jason Hall, playwright, and I apologize, the title of the play slips me, but we're going tonight at the Unitarian
Church off of Dinah Shore and Bob Hope.
Unitarian Church off of Dinah Shore and Bob Hope is where they actually do their production. And my friend Lisa Hemmert is one of the stars of the show.
Oh, nice.
And she was the one we were talking about. She said, well, I'm gonna do my best. And I said, well, you better. I don't want you embarrassing me.
I'm coming out to the show. It's going to be a good show. Right?
Don't make us leave early.
Tonight at 7:30. And that's so nice. I think that I'm sure that you can probably, the room is quite a large size. And
yeah, it'll be fun.
And hey, Reno, is there anybody tuning in with us? Let's see. They might even want to connect with Josh or me.
Or you.
Or you. They're probably going to want to talk to you.
We have Mariana. No.
Well, you know who that
Yeah,
is.
I know who Mariana is.
Yes,
Yeah.
you
She's the
do.
opera singer.
A beautiful opera singer.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic.
Yes, she is. She's an opera singer.
You know, we were talking earlier about my wife, Linda, and how before we came on, I was telling them how she's way more talented of a musician than I am. She went to school for orchestration and all that business. She played the flute along with the piano and the band. But part of her thing is she had to do opera for a semester.
Whoa.
She had to do, and so for a semester in college, she was singing opera as well. So I mean, she blows me away.
Where did she go to? Where was that?
She went to Houston Baptist University in Texas.
In Texas.
She went to one other university, but I can't remember what. But Houston Baptist was where she was at.
I look forward to meeting your wife one day, Josh.
You will love her. She's
I'm sure.
more enjoyable than me.
No, I don't know. That would be pretty hard.
Or just as enjoyable.
Nah.
We got Glenn Heskett. Glenn Heskett.
Yeah. Hi, Glenn.
You know where that's? That's all the way to Barnesville, Ohio.
Oh, nice.
And because that's my hometown, and they really support me, and they come on the show.
Fantastic.
And they'll okay. You all can donate, even from Barnesville. You know that.
That's the magic of the internet, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And anybody else right now?
Nah, just those two right now. But everybody tunes
last show we got close to 700 views.
Yeah, you had some, or after the fact or during?
After.
After, yeah.
Yeah.
You had, who did you have? I was looking at it and I'm trying to remember.
Lorinda.
Yeah.
Lorinda.
That was the one before.
That was the 49ers, and then the last one was
Kenny Schnell.
Kenny
He
Schnell,
was the
our
teacher.
friend, who
that's
wrote
right.
the book, The Other Side of the Lunch Table.
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Yeah.
So we have, I just feel so blessed that we have developed friendships with people who are making a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Making a difference.
Trying.
Well, it's kind of like you combined your passion with your life.
Yeah, I mean that's 100% correct. Love making music, have a child on the autism spectrum. Let's combine that. Let's do something good for the community, and then it just kind of. I never knew that this thing would go 17 years.
How do you go from buckets?
Well, we didn't know this one would go 4.
Right? You never know, and I mean, think about going from that hole in the wall, the Red Barn, of just 4 bands in one night, and now 4 weekends of 36 shows.
Is that
or 36 bands?
unbelievable?
But it's all because you want to do what you love and your passion, and then do something good with it. So.
And that's why,
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I always say when I'm doing my shows, because I feel that or at least I like to believe that my teaching is where I get to do my payback. And so with both fitness and dance and singing and all of that, but I always say when I'm doing a show, somewhere in that show, and with my classes, when did you give up the piano? When did you give up the guitar? When did you give up your knitting? When this show goes off the air tonight, you go and pick it back up.
Right.
Do what you love. No matter, it doesn't go, oh, I'd love to. I mean, I have a doctor friend who plays the drums, and I just saw him not too long ago, and I said, how's the drum playing? And I could see the sadness just develop. I mean, it was like, oh, well, they're sitting there. Well, hey, pick up the sticks and beat a little bit, and painting, knitting, whatever you do. See what he's done. Look what Josh has done with what he loves. And Reno, you just have spread your love to so many people. Everybody, who Reno touches somehow manages to get help. You always have help for somebody.
I know. It's like if you just take a genuine interest in anybody you're talking to. I mean, sometimes all it is just a smile. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they might need a ride. It could be anything, And then you just paid attention. Mm-hmm.
Like an owl sitting in the middle of the road the other day. An owl, OWL. Wow. He saw it in the middle of the road and went and took it and put it off to the side.
That's pretty cool.
He was mesmerized by some lights or something, and I had to flip a U-turn because he wouldn't get out of the dang road.
That's crazy. I mean, it's rare that you see an owl, and then to actually have that happen, wow.
Yeah, he was just like, he might have been stoned.
And that's
or
just one a long list of things. No, he didn't find me in the middle of the road, but
on a sidewalk.
On a sidewalk.
Going back, to the autism, I mean, is there any studies as to why it's increasing in the United States, or is it all kind of iffy or touchy subject?
With autism, there's no one thing where they're like, this is what causes autism.
Okay.
And there's no cure for autism. There's nothing like that. But there's been plenty of studies about why the rates are going up, and I think there's no definite this is why, but I think there are a couple of factors. Number one, the spectrum has kind of widened a little bit more.
Okay.
So that and people have a little bit more understanding about what all the spectrum encompasses, and so therefore some things that might have been diagnosed ADHD or something like that some years ago now would fall into the category of autism. And so I think that's one of the biggest things is there's more awareness about what autism is, what it is, and how it affects individuals. And so therefore it widens. Why did the numbers skyrocket so much from, like what I was saying earlier, my son, when it was like 1 in 160 all the way now to 1 in 36? I don't have an answer for that. If I knew, I would gladly tell you, but I don't want to speculate on. I mean,
a different drum.
Yeah. Besides the fact of that the spectrum is what I'm saying, I don't know what it is that has made those numbers climb. Is it preservatives in our food and in our water or whatever?
Sure.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe certain individuals, something might affect them, and others, their cell structure. And again, this is just me talking.
Sure.
It may not affect them, and so certain stimuli may affect someone and cause them to fall into the autism spectrum, and certain stimuli, that same stimuli, may fall on someone else and it not. But I'm not a doctor, so
yeah. No, I get it. But the thing is, the fact that you're bringing awareness to it now, there's more eyes on it. So hopefully, before too long, there will be a better solution, because you're getting more eyes to recognize and engage people, and I think that's where solutions start to happen.
For sure. One of the things I forget is someone told me the other day. The Concert for Autism, we generally raise about $25,000 to $26,000 a year, and I'm very grateful and I'm excited. And that's great that we do that. But sometimes every once in a while I'll be like, man, I wish we could
triple that.
Yeah. and the thing, and I know part of it is that I really like that it's kind of homegrown, that it's bands that I know, people that I know. Some younger bands coming up into the scene, and we're all doing it together. And when we do it every year, it's like a family reunion,
right?
And it makes us feel good. And so, I could go off and try to get really super famous people and try to do that. But what I love about it is that it's our music community giving back. Everybody does it for free. But anyway, so sometimes I see other things, and they're like, we raised $100,000. And I had a conversation with another individual that does fundraising, and she said, Josh, don't you remember what you and Linda do and all your friends, because I mean Linda and I are the directors of the Concert for Autism, but we have friends volunteer, give of their time, give of their services, run sounds, do sound auction. So it's not just us, but she said to me, don't you know that what you do with the Concert for Autism, it's more than just raising money, it's a raising awareness, it's raising acceptance. It's teaching people about autism. Yeah. And sometimes I get that tunnel vision and think like, we're not doing enough, and then to have that reminded was good to hear.
Sometimes it gets so big, it's like a mega church. People just go because, hey, I went to a mega church, and then they don't do anything with their life.
Right.
Whereas what you got, it's homegrown. You talk to somebody, hey, I live in Indio too, or hey, I just live in Palm Desert, and everybody's like connected to where they can follow up later. You know, where if you go to these mega things, okay, you donate $100 and okay, you feel good. Now you go and do, go and goof off. Whereas this, you see people you'll know and people you heard, and that's to me that's powerful. I love community work.
Yeah. At the end of the day, if we can just make it, I tell myself a few things. Not that they're the right, or not that I have the right things, but try to make somebody's day better, or do something good. Those two phrases. And my dad always reminds me, he says, look, when I go to the supermarket, and his wife passed away a few years ago from Huntington's disease, but they had a saying, when they went to the supermarket, they smiled. And they said, because everybody is so grumpy because they don't want to be there, they're rushed for time, and they're about to blow however much money.
Right.
And he and his wife made it a point to smile. And I was like, man, that's so good, because he's right. I'm not happy when I go to the register at the supermarket. But yeah, it's just that one thought, and I don't always do it, but I try to put on a happy face when I'm try to do something good. I can be grumpy away from people and
right. Well, speaking of food, perfect timing.
Yes.
We want to gift you with a loaf of sourdough bread.
Oh, thank you.
And it's from our friends, I don't know if you can read it, Bread and Flour. Mark and Kristen, they're over in...
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
will
so much.
love this bread. I mean,
it is the best.
If I didn't give it to you, it'd be gone by tonight. It's so
true.
freaking good.
That's really true.
Yeah.
Awesome. My family and my wife will love this. Thank you.
And it's just so good. And Mark and Reno have been friends before Mark started his bakery, correct?
Yeah, we used to go. We were both in real estate together. I still am. His passion was sourdough bread, and he started out at the farmers markets, and now they have a brick and mortar place, and the place sells out.
It's beautiful spot in Palm Springs.
It's at 2100 North Palm Canyon, Suite 105, and they are open Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, I think from like 9 to 3. But don't wait till 3 o'clock.
No, because they're always sold out.
Sold out, right?
They're sold out. They're sold out. Marcia, you
And
got there what time? You got there like at 1?
Yeah, it was 1 o'clock yesterday.
And this was the last one left.
And
wow.
It was like that. This was it.
Yeah.
And so, what I did, they had just a dark loaf of some kind that had, I don't know, raisins in it or something. It could be chocolate for all I know. And so she said, well, this is sourdough too. And I said, well, I can't go home with just one loaf of bread. So yes, Kristen, I'll take that one.
I'll take 2.
And so, and it's almost gone between the two of us.
Yeah, I had like a slice and, okay, one more. Okay, one more. And I go, man, I got to stop, otherwise there won't be any for her.
And so it's not been, the only human hands that touched this was Kristen when she put it into the bag.
All right. I will. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you. I'm very grateful.
Oh, well, once you do this, you will go, maybe I should stop by that bread place.
Yeah.
And then you'll be caught.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
And
so thanks, Mark and Kristen.
Yeah, thank you
for supporting our show.
Yeah.
Did anything that I'd like to believe we covered it.
Covered every. Let me again. How grateful I am that you guys invited me, and giving light to the concert and the cause and everything else. I'm very grateful.
Us too.
The last thing I would say was we didn't talk about, and I'll talk about it real quick. Is I work at Visit Greater Palm Springs.
Oh, okay.
And at Visit Greater Palm Springs, we are doing an autism initiative where we're trying to get businesses and organizations to take training through a certification company, training about autism, so they can become certified. They call it a certified autism center when a business gets their employees trained about it. And that way they can better understand those on the spectrum or those with sensory needs. And then what's going on with, once we get enough businesses across the valley certified, the company doing the credentialing, IBCCES, that's their name, they will certify the entire valley as certified autism destination.
Oh, wow.
So that will mean we can tell the world.
That's big.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's about getting, for that designation, we got to get like a certain number of hotels, restaurants, arts and entertainment, things of that nature. Get the places like the Living Desert is certified, the Rancho Mirage Library is certified, JW Marriott is certified. There are 4 restaurants, including Tequila and Farm in Palm Springs, are certified. The convention center just got certified. It was just announced yesterday.
The what center?
The convention center, the Palm Springs Convention. So we're really working hard. But once we get enough to reach the threshold where we have a good amount of options for people that travel that are on the spectrum, or the community that are on the spectrum, and their families, we'll get that designation.
So, since it's musically based, I would think more artists would, like an individual artist, want to get certified, or a venue want to get certified.
No, it would be more like a venue, like a restaurant, or an attraction, or an organization.
Okay.
You try to get everybody that works at your company to take the training, and then once everybody does, you get that certification, and then once we get multiple companies, so things like that. So
maybe like the Joshland Center, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
They have a venue there. Arthur Newman.
Yeah, so we're talking with a bunch of, we're in constant conversation with a bunch of organizations, and but that was something I wanted to make sure to bring up. If anybody's interested in that, if you own a business or you work for a business out here in the Coachella Valley and you want to know more about the program, you can contact me at josh@visitgreaterps.com. That's my work address.
Wow.
So,
we've had a lot of information, right? And Josh Heinz is like just an incredible person who has manifested all of this, and we can help by continue to support it and give what we can in order to help him not only with his dream but with this unbelievably wonderful what do we call it?
Journey.
That's great. A journey to improve the world.
Right.
And I thank you. We thank you. And the reason we got flies all of a sudden is because our wonderful little pond down here is being worked on. And we see a truck over there, but I don't see any human being. It's been there most of the day, but I have only seen one person, one for very little. So.
And she was about this tall.
Yeah. But anyway, as you all know, you can contact Josh, you can contact Reno or myself, and let's help this project move forward. And may everything that has been reduced to noise in you become music again. And music and friendship and autism has no distance. We love you.
Everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me.